Hello, friends. Welcome back to Authenticity the Hard Way podcast. I am your host, Asha Zalika, and I am very grateful that you have chosen to join me today. You could be doing anything else, having your attention focused anywhere else, but you have chosen to give some of your time to me. So thank you very much. If you are new to the podcast, in a nutshell, I share my most hurtful, devastating experiences and show or describe how these experiences have helped me grow, heal, transform, evolve into the next highest version of myself possible. And that is the premise of Authenticity the Hard Way, that our harsh experiences are what become the catalyst for transformation into our truest, authentic self. So it has been exactly 2 weeks since my last episode, which was the lapse. And so much has changed. So much has really, really changed. I encourage you to go back to the 3 previous episodes and listen with an open heart and with an open mind, because the 2 experiences that I share in those episodes are 2 of the most harshest experiences I have, with the first one being the death of my son 15 years ago, almost 16 years, 15 years ago. But now I am on the other side of the bumper cars and the lapse. And I'm totally in a different space right now. Healing is a continual journey. This is what I am learning. Because as you evolve, as you go higher, I guess you will, into your authentic self, healing is a continual process. And I'm learning that even during healing, there is also maintenance. Because you have to, even during the process, you must maintain that which is or has been healed. I'm seeing a scab. It's kind of gross, but I'm seeing a scab, a cut or a wound. And it heals in stages. It heals deeply first underneath the skin, in stages to where it becomes topical and your skin itself heals. But yet there may still be a scar. And so I'm healing and maintaining that which has been healed. And what does that look like? That looks like having placed new boundaries within myself. New boundaries regarding conversations that I have, regarding my time, regarding the way I treat myself. I have learned a total new level of self-care. Self-care is not just about the body, There's self-care in your mentality, in your mind. There's self-care in your soul and in your heart. There's self-care with how you treat yourself. And I'm learning that. And I have not done anything drastic or anything major. I have just stopped being how and who I was. I'm I'm not even remodeling because I gave up doing old stuff. Everything that happened in my past, everything that happened in my past being last week, I am starting from scratch. I am not starting over. I am starting right where I am. I am not rebuilding. I am not renewing. I am starting fresh. That goes to allowing myself to wake up when my body is ready to wake up instead of forcing myself to get up out of survival mode at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and just start pushing my way through my projects. That just a small example of how I had been living, for a very long time. I can't even tell you how long, because I was in survival mode, pushing my way through, forcing my projects to come to fruition, trying to stay just ahead of depression, just ahead of total collapse, trying to outrun survival. And that led me to a total and complete destruction of what I thought my life was. I have experienced tower moments down through the years, but these last 2 months was not a tower moment of situations. It was a tower moment of my entire life. Every part of me was destroyed. My mind state, my mental state, my emotional state, my spiritual state, my family. Everything was destroyed. What things that were hidden came to light. Emotions that had been hidden, glossed over for years, came to light. Beliefs about everything came to light, not just for myself, but for my children. And everything fell apart, and I let it stay apart. I let it stay broken. I did not rush in to fix anything. At moments, I just stopped and I sat right in the middle of all of the pain. And I'm still hurt. Here's the thing, I'm still hurt and I'm still broken. And I'm fine with that. I did a video on the YouTube channel called Broken But Still Here. And that is where I am. Please excuse any noise in the background. There's no editing with Authenticity the Hard Way. There's no editing. This is real. As real as it comes. So please excuse any background noise. I'm not in control of anything. Oh, a bird just landed on my wall unit, my AC. Oh, how pretty. Anyway, yeah, I'm broken and I'm proud of it because everything that needed to be broken is broken. I can't fix it, don't want to fix it. So what I wanted to share, this is the end of this what's that thing called? This what's that series? I'm sorry, completely lapsed on that. This is the last episode for the Broken series. And I had thought that, I had planned that my daughter and my youngest son would join me and tell their sides of the breakdown, what happened within our family. And they agreed, and then it just didn't pan out. And the old me would have been upset, I'm just, whatever. But it didn't happen, so it didn't happen. And I didn't force anything. I didn't hound. I didn't, I'm learning to live organically. And that is flowing with life. I have no control over anything, and I'm learning to stay in the flow. And as a matter of fact, in the flow with this, I'm taking notes, so give me a second. I'm going to link a couple videos with this. So please check the description of this. There's a oracle reading that I did. These are videos. There's an oracle reading. There is the video. And I will, whatever else comes to mind, while I'm crafting the description for this, I will include. So if you're new to the podcast, there's the podcast, and then there's also videos, all under Authenticity the Hard Way. For this episode, it is called, while the title is coming to me right now, the liberation through or after destruction. That's the title. I'm writing it down. Give me a second, because I didn't have a title. Yes, I did. I had the word liberation. And that's all I had. And so I have the full title now. And I'm writing it down. Gotta take notes. Actually, I received I could upload that too. I received a message this morning about flowing with spirit and giving yourself a kiss. And that kiss being the reminder to keep it simple. And I said sweetie instead of stupid, because stupid is disrespectful. So I'm learning to keep things simple. And that is my flow. So I want to talk about liberation. I asked Google, and that's my thing. I use Gemini and Google because I'm a student of life, and so I study. When things come to me, I look up words. I was that person that was always in the library at the card catalog long before everything was on computers. So I'm dating myself, but back when you went into the library and you had to go to the card catalog and flip through the tabs to find a book that you were looking for. So yes, I looked up the word liberation, because to me, liberation just means being free. But it is deeper than that, very deeper than that. So, and I felt that in my spirit. And so I looked it up, and here's the definition. Liberation is the act of setting someone or something free from oppression, confinement, or foreign control, or the state of having been freed. It is distinct from the general concept of freedom because it specifically refers to the active process of breaking chains or overcoming systemic barriers. That is why I chose liberation, because this is an active process. Being freed from all of the false beliefs, false core beliefs that I had about myself, my family, and the direction of my life. I thought my life was going. This is an active process of becoming free from what I now understand was oppression, of foreign control. And that foreign control was what I wanted to happen, wanted to manifest in my life at this moment. And the reason why it was under foreign control is because when I envisioned the reunification of my family, when I envisioned having my own home, I was envisioning it out of fear and out of poverty mindset, in survival mode. That was the foreign control. Survival mode was controlling the vision, the dreams, the goals that I had set for myself years ago. The other part of that is that the foundation, I'm going back over the definition. The foundation for what I wanted came from a place of oppression, because I was still bound by things of my past that had shaped me back then. I had a narrow view of what my future looked like because I was under the oppression of other people's actions. That's deep. This is just downloading to me right now. So other people's actions, let me define that. When my ex-husband abandoned me and my children, that abandonment stayed with me, and it oppressed every thought, every intention that I had, because it came from a place of abandonment. Wanting to hold on as tightly as I could to what I had, because I didn't want anything to leave me. I didn't want to lose anything. I didn't want to be abandoned. So I held with a death's grip onto reuniting my family, because I didn't want to be abandoned anymore. I hope that makes sense. And because of that, fast forward to us finally coming together, we could not stay together under the conditions that I wanted, because I was afraid of abandonment, and I was willing to do whatever needed to be done to keep my family together. And that could only stand for so long, because the foundation upon which that was built upon was broken foundation. It was broken foundation held together by fear. Fear of abandonment, fear of poverty, fear of loss, just fear. And in the culmination of time, Anything built on faulty foundation will fall. And that's what happened. So now I am in the process of being liberated. I'm going through the liberation process. And that feels amazing. Yeah, I don't have a script. So as I am speaking this, it is downloading like a stream into my spirit. I'm seeing it and I'm feeling it. This is liberation through destruction. Everything in my life had to crumble. Destruction or devastation? Devastation, liberation after destruction, or liberation after devastation. I think I like that last one. I'm writing this down. I'm literally writing this down. Devastation. I guess you could use both words. It's the liberation, my liberation after destruction and devastation. My life was devastated and destroyed at the same time. And I'm on the other side of that. And I'm being liberated. And it is a process. Because there are some chains that still have to be broken. I am not healed. I am not whole, in a sense. I am building. And new ground has to be broken. You know, before you start building a building, you have to break up the ground. You know, you have to till the ground, break it up, make sure it's okay to lay a foundation on. That's where I am. I'm at the ground breaking place. Stuff is still being broken, and I don't have an end date on when this new building that's going to be called Asha Zalika is going to be finished. It's not. It's a work in progress. But it starts with a strong foundation. And that's where I am. The ground is being broken. And it's liberating. Because I'm seeing that. When you start breaking up ground, whether you're building a new building, or whether you're breaking up the ground to plant a garden, you got to bust up the soil. You got to till it. I actually, you know what? That reminds me, a few years ago, I actually did that. I used that machine, the tiller, rototiller, whatever that thing is called, and I pushed it and watched the spikes of the thing just go deep into the ground and just turn it and turn it and turn it and turn it. It was amazing. It was exhausting too, because that sucker is heavy. It was so heavy. But I was determined. I really like that. And that's what's happening to me now. The soil of my soul, the soil of this life is being dug deep into, and it's being turned up. And then I had to go back after I did that. I had to go back and pull out all the weeds, had to get out all the rocks and everything. That's where I am. It's exactly where I am. Whew. And it feels good. It feels good. Liberation feels good. And that's where I am. That's where I am. And I'm not rushing to reclaim anything. Everything that is old is gone and is leaving. It's a process. Remember, I started talking about the process of healing. It's ongoing. And I understand that. And I have really tapered back on my own zeal to live. Wow, that is a concept right there. I have tapered back on my own zeal to live. I am in Aries. I am full fire. I am let's go with a quickness. Let's get this done. And I have learned to tame the fire. Controlled fires. Long time ago. I don't know if they still do it, but I grew up in Barstow. And the forestry used to come through and do controlled fires. And they would section off a place, and they would put barriers up to keep the fire controlled to burn just that vegetation and overgrowth that needed to be burned in that area. That's what I'm doing. That's what I am doing now. I am learning to control the fire within me, which is a work in itself because this fire has been raging for years. But I'm learning how to work with it. I am learning to not be so impulsive. I am learning to flow. I am no longer chasing. I am attracting. I am no more forcing. I am allowing things to manifest as they will. And there is such sweet freedom in that. I am free. I can feel it within my breath. I can feel it within my presence. And that's another thing. I am staying present, more present now. I am staying more in the moment now. Instead of being 5, 10, 20 steps ahead, I'm just in this step right now. Friends, that is what devastation and destruction has taught me and has brought me into this level, this space of authenticity. I'm right here and I'm right now in this moment, allowing me to be me and allowing everything on the outside of me to be as it is and to come to me as it may. Period. I am in a new version of myself, and it feels great. I am in a new place. I have stepped into, or I have, through the chaos, through the pain, through the destruction, I have evolved into a new, authentic space of me, which is allowance, awareness, and presence, and flow. And this is just the beginning. And what a new beginning. I said, new beginning is a real concept for me. Because I just when things used to happen, I would just begin again. Start again. Which means starting right in the middle of the mess and just picking it up and going again, just starting to move again, picking up the mess and moving with the mess, fixing it, mending it, and moving with it forward. No, that's done. No. New beginning. Empty-handed. Not bringing anything that is broken with me. And it feels great. It feels great. And what I want to leave you with, friends, it's okay to be broken. It is okay to be broken. Leave those broken pieces on the ground. Step over them, or sweep them up, put them in a pile, walk to a dumpster, I'm talking metaphorically, in your head. This is what I'm seeing. Sweeping it up, sweeping up all the broken stuff, all the ashes. Not the ashes, leave the ashes. Yeah. But all the broken pieces, sweep them up. Walk to the dumpster and fling them in there. Because if you do that, in my head, what I'm seeing, there is no way you are going to get back in that dumpster and gather up all those pieces and put them back together. That's what I saw. No, leave that trash in the trash and start new. And you know what, y'all? I don't have a plan. For years, I lived my life with a plan, and I planned to do this, and I planned to do this, and this, and this. Nope. I have guidelines. I know what I want to do. I know what I want to do. I want to succeed in my business, in my goals. However, I am allowing it to happen organically. Like I started out saying, I don't force myself to wake up at any time anymore. When I wake up, I wake up. I do have things that I have to do, so I have to study. I have to, and I have content to create. I have a book that I'm writing. I have things that I have to do according to my business. But having a rigid structure like I used to, I'm a bodybuilder. I'm in off season. This off season does not have an end date. I will return when it is time to return to the stage. And that's where that is. And for me to say that is a major form of liberation. But as a bodybuilder, everything was structured. Meal structured, sleep structured, hydration structured, workouts structured. And then come preseason, that structure was amped up even more. Major discipline. I have come out of that as far as my life is concerned, and I am flowing with the day. And it feels so good. So back to you, because that's where I was going. Allow yourself to be broken. Allow yourself to grieve. Allow yourself to process. And there are moments, don't get me wrong, there are moments throughout my days, these 2 weeks, where I have had to stop and sit and cry. A memory would come up of something that was uprooted during those 2 harsh experiences, and I sit and I cry and I write, or I just sit and cry and I just let the emotion come and be as it is. Thoughts have come and I would just, okay. I feel you. I think about it. And then I remind myself and I tell the thought, it's over. And it's done. And I keep going. Allow these things to happen. Allow yourself to breathe. And don't be so quick to start something. Allow things to unfold as they may. Yep, I just saw Neo getting out of the Matrix. That, that's a whole different episode. But coming out of the Matrix mindset, the Matrix that we have been in, coming out of that requires a complete rewiring of your mind and your brain. The brain, the organ itself. And this whole, thank you, Spirit, because I just started watching it, Matrix 1 again. I always do that every so often. I go back to the beginning. And I stopped where Neo, when they were hooking him up and taking him through all the process of hooking him up to the machine and all these things, rewiring his mind. Yep, allow that to happen. That's where your liberation comes in. That's the breaking of the chains. That is the coming out from under the oppression, is rewiring, allowing your brain itself to rewire itself, and allowing your mind to begin new thoughts. It's a process, honey. It is a process, but it's a good process, and you're worth it. And yes, you can do it. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for not giving up on you. We are all one, y'all. We are all one. We are all connected. And any ounce of hope, any margin of inspiration, anything that you can glean from my experiences, please take it. Accept it. Accept it. 'Cause I want you to be the best you can be. I want you to experience the beauty of being you. And it's a process. And you can absolutely do it. And I am here to support you. Big changes are coming to Authenticity the Hard Way. My business Revelations Holistic Empowerment Training is up, so to speak. I am working on the website for that. I've gotten help that I didn't know existed. So things are moving. Things are expanding. There's a new playlist on the YouTube channel called The Wisdom of the Oracle and More, where I'll be doing oracle readings, channeled messages, hitting on astrological stuff, and whatever else Spirit gives me to put on that playlist. So yeah, I'm moving slowly, lovingly, gently, and I'm enjoying the process. So please enjoy your process. And you know what the name of this process is? The process of becoming. And I may just do an episode about that. I don't know, but keep that in your mind, because that's what life is about. It's the process of becoming who we have been chosen to be. I love you, and talk with you soon.